Good morning. All right, we will just go ahead and get started this morning. Welcome to the Picture Perfect ABCs and the Headlines Techie Tuesday for today. Um, this is going to be just a little bit different than some of the other Techie Tuesdays that you've come to, where we've shown you how to set up some of our lessons that we've talked about. This one already, I've got two templates for you ready to pass out, ready to use immediately. So I'm just going to kind of go through um, how to use them, and hopefully you can take them back to your classrooms or to some of the teachers in your school. So my portion of this Techie Tuesday focuses on pairing photos with literacy tasks. And if you were part of the DLL meeting last week, I mentioned that my focus on my first lesson, the Picture Perfect ABCs, was focused more towards kindergarten and first grade. I do have another template for our older kids, but that doesn't mean that you can't take the Picture Perfect ABCs and maybe that inspires something else. Thinking a little bit about maybe the third graders who are learning cursive, especially with some of the handwriting connections that I've got inside the Picture Perfect ABCs, that could be a way to help practice with the handwriting. So I'll first pull up the Pages document that I created. This is the Picture Perfect ABCs. Again, using photos. So in this template, we've just got a couple of things. The first two pages are, the first page is how a kindergarten or first grader is meant to use the template. So it just gives you some basic instructions on, tapping the edit button to make sure that they can actually edit the page, how to take a photo, where to put their name, using that media button, which I should update these instructions, is now the paper clip up here in the top. That is the media button. The third page on here is how to set up your own template. If there's something about mine that's just not working, you can always edit this template to make it your own. But here are some instructions on how to make that template completely different and set it up for yourself. So getting down to kind of slide or page number 4, this would be the first page of the Picture Perfect ABCs. So if you wanted to share this template with your kindergarten or first graders, I would probably delete the pages 1 through 3, just because they don't need that. And then the most efficient way to share this would be through Teams and class materials or even an assignment. If you have any questions on how to do that, I'd be happy to help facilitate that as well. But this is the title page. This is kind of how they make this Picture Perfect ABC's pages template their own. They can take a selfie just by tapping this plus sign. It already is a placeholder. So all they have to do is tap choose a photo or video if they have a picture of themselves already in their camera roll, or they can choose to take a photo or a video right there within the Pages document. There is also a text box here for their name. If they double tap, they'd be able to type their name right here and make that their own. As we scroll down, we've got some of the meat and potatoes of this document. So when a student is just looking at a worksheet, they're really only thinking one way. They have a single track to remember. But when they start taking photos of their learning, specifically the A something that starts with the letter A in their classroom, they're building a secondary track, something more visual. And then later, if they're not sure what the A says or what the B says or so on, they can come back to their book. Remember, oh yeah, I took a picture of an apple for A, so now I remember what that sounds like. Again, just like with the first page, this is a placeholder. So you had to double tap on that placeholder to get this plus sign. But when they have the blue bubbles around here, then they have the plus sign. Again, they can take a photo or they can upload one that they might already have. And so they do something. Apple. That's the only thing I can think of at the moment. I don't know how many apples are actually in the classroom, but I'm sure there's something else that starts with an A in the classroom that they can take a picture of. Even though I focused on photos, I really wanted to have many modes of learning this letter. So I know the visual or the verbal track, the verbal path of creating, writing a letter is very important. And sometimes that's hard for a child to remember. And the teacher can't be always telling them how to write this letter. So within this document as well, you'll notice the blue lines on each of these two example letters. That is actually an animation that shows the verbal path of how to write the letter. So on both of them, if they tap on the yellow, they can tap play drawing, and anytime they can go back and see what that looks like. Again, all 26 letters of the alphabet have the verbal path included on the page so they can play it whenever they want. As I mentioned, I also put lines on this paper so they can use their pencil, their stylus, or even their finger if they don't have a stylus, and they can practice writing their letters on the page anytime. It's easy to go back and erase. They don't need a separate sheet of paper. They don't necessarily have to pull out a marker board, and they can still, if they're unsure of the verbal path or how to create that shape, they can go back and re-watch the drawing of the letter or the writing of the letter. I did also add a voice of each letter on there so that they can hear what that letter sounds like. I can't play it right here because I don't have the sound turned on my iPad, but if you tap on that, it will give you the sound of the letter. So like I said, this template is ready to go. It's got all 26 letters of the alphabet all the way down to the bottom. Very easy to just hand the students and have them practice. So before we move on, any questions about how to use this or anything that might have come up? I am not hearing anything, which is okay. I'm going to actually upload this document um, to this chat. It's also in the DLL Canvas course. So I'm going to put that there. I've also uploaded this to the Apple Education Forum. So I'm going to put that link here as well. Your teachers can easily access this template from there. All they have to do is sign into the Apple Education community using their e-login, and they can access this very easily. So this is, like I said, kindergarten and first grade, but I did not want to leave out the older students. So I'm going to get out of Pages. I'm going to go into Keynote. This one's kind of fun because it is a headline template. So I've actually seen this one. It almost looks exactly like what's on the news. I saw a news story last week and I was like, that looks exactly like my template. So that was kind of fun. But again, using a photo to talk about what they have learned, um, and why they chose that particular photo to explain. So I'm thinking of this as maybe an exit ticket or a review at the end of a day or a unit could be kind of fun. And it's super simple because back here is already a placeholder. Everything else is laid on top. You'll notice the plus sign down here at the bottom corner that they can tap on, choose a photo or take a photo, just like we did with the Pages document. And then they just double tap on this headline or down here at location or time. It's all text boxes, and they can go ahead and put in their own headline of something that they've learned. So this is just practicing that metacognition and remembering that these iPads are not just for fun and games and entertainment. This is to help them with investigating and being I don't know, a megaphone for their ideas and a tool, not just an entertainment device. So I'm going to show you, if you're on the DLL meeting, this looks very similar. Something that we learned at Apple Learning Academy, that's actually where this template came from. We were talking about the iOS 26 removing split view, which was kind of a, oh no, we use split view for everything. It was kind of a shocking moment. But then when we learned about the windowed apps, it kind of calmed the whole room down. But then in the end, when we did the headline, this particular participant took a screenshot of the windowed apps and said iOS 26 removes the split screen or split view, and it's okay. So that was kind of a fun, kind of tongue-in-cheek type of a thing for this. So I think it'd be really fun for the kids to be able to review with that. I'm also going to put this template in the chat because it was taken from the Apple Education, not the forum, from our Apple Learning Academy. I don't have a link to the forum for it. But that's okay because I'm going to send you this document and you can go ahead and download it and open it on your iPad. This one is in Keynote. The other one is in Pages, so using two different apps. But I think that it would be really great for our older students to be able to do this one as well. So any questions about the headlines template? All right. Well, this Techie Tuesday is a little short and sweet. That's all I've got for you. If you have any questions about maybe sharing this in teams with the students, just let me know. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy your Tuesday.
Hello, I will be contacting you for help passing it out through Teams because